So I have this goal to build something on every hidden lot in The Sims 4. I recently made a video where I started building houses in every secret world of The Sims 4, but there are still a bunch of hidden lots that I can show you. So today I will show you how to get to each one, and then we're gonna build something cool on the lot. So the first one we'll head to is called the Omiscan Royal Bath Lot. First, we're going to take a vacation to Selva Dorada, the vacation world from Jungle Adventure. We're going on a bit of a journey, so you may want to stock up on some supplies before leaving. You can find the Jungle Adventure bar and market here on this lot. We should have already been given a machete and some bug spray, but if you want to be a bit more careful, you can also grab some snacks, extra sprays, and backup machetes. Once you're ready, head on over here to this lot. Why are the fangs here? Anyway, this is the entry that starts the adventure, so clear that path with the machete. See, I already lost my machete, so this is why we needed extras. Once you're through, you'll be led to a second area. There's a beautiful waterfall here, but we still can't build on this lot. So we walk all the way to the back here and clear the path again. Now coming to the third section, we have three options. The right one leads us to the temple lot, which is another hidden lot. The middle one has secret treasures, and the left one leads us to the bath lot. I think the pop-ups are random and have various outcomes. I just went with my gut, so you may need multiple tries to get through these, but once you do, you'll finally enter the Omiscan Royal Bath Lot. This is a super cool lot actually. There's a massive pool in the center with waterfalls coming off the sides. You'll find the goths here apparently. Anyway, for all of these, we need to enter the cheat bb.enable free build, and then we'll be able to build here. So for our build, obviously a main focus is going to be water. So I'm actually gonna start off by building a bridge. I'm using the custom wall tool right now to just carve it out, and then I'm gonna take my hammer tool and remove the ceiling and all of the walls. That way I'm just going to be left with the flooring piece. I find this to be the easiest way to do it. And then once we have the shape of how we want the bridge to be, we're gonna click on it and we'll just raise this up in the center. So now it's gonna be up on a foundation. I can use a base game stilt foundation paint. We can add some stairs here. The spot over to the left is where your Sims will spawn when you get here, so I want the bridge to start over there. We can use some Jungle Adventure wood for this, and then before doing anything else, I'm gonna also take a rounded deck piece, and I'm just gonna build a spot for where our house is going to be. So it's gonna be up on this rounded platform here. We'll just delete that fencing in the middle. I'm also gonna delete the rest of the fencing here for now because we're gonna do something custom later without using custom content, obviously. And for this over here, I'm changing my foundation paint to this from Get Famous. I've also just gone ahead and raised this up on a platform. That way we have two sets of stairs. It looks a little more interesting. Now we're gonna add in our water features. The first one, we're gonna start off by using some terrain. So I'm using the lower terrain option, and I'm just gonna put this underneath the bridge that we just made. And then we're gonna take the water tool and we'll raise this up so we'll have water beneath that bridge. The reason why I'm starting with that is because we cannot put pools very easily underneath those foundations. So for now, I'm just gonna change the water type to this one from Jungle Adventure, and then we're gonna take our custom pool tool and I'm gonna trace around that pond that I just made. So getting as close to the edges as possible until we get near the platform. Then I'm gonna try and do the same thing and keep the pool as close to it as I possibly can. I'm actually wrapping it all the way around to the other side, but I'm gonna stop about here and then I'm gonna bring it all the way back. I'm really hoping that this works out on the first try and I don't have to go back in and do this again. Let's try and connect it back. Yes, it worked. All right, let's change the paint again. I'm also planning on putting wallpaper and flooring in these, so I'm using the Riviera Retreat combination for that. And from the same kit, I'm gonna be using this gravel pool trim all around every pool. Don't worry about this awkward part here. We're gonna fix that in a minute. But before I do that, I'm just gonna go in and make another pool on the other side. All right, so our pools are all complete. You can see there's so much room for Sims to go swimming here. I also left room on this side for another entry, which we can build out as well with a couple platforms. Maybe a nice rounded deck here as well for a little variation. But before I start landscaping, I wanted to make a heart island in the middle of the pool. So using the rounded pool piece, I'm going to hold control on my keyboard, and that's going to delete a pool space, or as deleted as the game will allow it to be. Then we're gonna page down, and in this different spot of the flooring, I'm gonna take another rounded room piece and put that right right on top. So now when we page up, we're gonna have a little grass piece there. It unfortunately does not have the same nice rounded edges as I would like, but it's fine. It's not like we waited for years for that or anything. I've done the same thing on the other side, so just making a little semicircle, and then I'm gonna turn it this way so my pool piece is going to be connecting onto that edge. And then I'm just repeating the same process. My heart might be a little too big. I need to fix this a bit, but I just connected the other rooms there. We'll add our trim on, and I'm gonna use some Jungle Adventure flooring pieces to just kind of match the others that I used. Okay, the final thing I'm going to do before finishing off all the landscaping and starting on the actual shell. I know this is a very heavy landscaping build today, but it'll be worth it, I promise. I've opened up debug and turned on my base game filter, and we're going to find these rocks. If you've been around my channel, you've seen this trick before. It's one of my favorite tricks to do. So we're gonna page down into the basement, and we're gonna raise these up through the floor so we can get them at the proper height that we want to. So I'm just gonna cover up the pool edge there. So then when we page up, we're gonna have a proper barrier with the rocks. I'm gonna be applying the same sort of strategy going around this platform here, just so we can kind of clean up any of those sharp edges happening. So I've started some of the landscaping. This is what it's looking like so far. I added some lily pads in the water. We also have the balloon lights which float on the top of the water. And I'm currently just working on this custom fence that I was talking about. Basically, all I'm doing is using this item from the Desert Luxe kit, and then I'm shrinking these squares down and holding Alt on my keyboard. I'm just rotating them slightly and putting them together so they trace around the border. I actually did this in my Polly Pocket build video, and I don't know, something about it, I really like the chunky look that it has. All right, so 10 hours later, I have finally finished my landscaping. I don't know why. I have always loved landscaping in The Sims 4. It is so relaxing to me, which is why I tend to get carried away and do it off camera very often. Oh my gosh, we already have someone playing in the water over here. Okay, but now that we've got all our landscaping done, let's start to build our shell. And because we've decided to use round walls for this platform, we are going to have a couple limitations. I basically just can't bring it too far to the edge, even though I feel like this is still quite a distance away, but we'll see what we can get away with in terms of bump outs. So I don't really have a strategy right now. I'm just kind of bringing these out. And then I do know I want to have a second floor too. All right, so this is what my shell is looking like. For some reason, I'm really just picturing this being orange. So I'm using some wallpaper from Jungle Adventure. And actually, I'm also going to be using some Jungle Adventure archways here. The Riviera kit also has some super gorgeous archways, so I'm gonna add those up top. And I was thinking it may be difficult for your Sims to actually live here. Every time you wanted to come back to this lot, you would have to go through the same process, although it would be a lot easier the second time around, but still. So I'm thinking we turn this into a hostel of sorts. That way you could have Sims just stay on this lot and live here for a little while if you wanted to. We'll have all the amenities they'll need. We'll add a kitchen and bedrooms and stuff. Because right now, unless you have like a tent or something, if you come to this lot, your Sim will have to leave once their needs get bad. This way your Sim could actually stay here as long as they want to, and other Sims spawn on this lot too, so you could still meet people. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad of a life. For my roofing today, I've just gone in with 3 half-hipped roof pieces. We're gonna cover that up with some Jungle Adventure paint. I was thinking the Love Struck trim could look really pretty on here. We'll add some base game trim, and since there's so much greenery around, I think it would be really pretty if we used green windows. Like, I know The Sims 4 for rent have these beautiful dark green swatches, so I'm thinking we try those. All right, windows are placed. I'm also going to be building a pergola on the side, just using this base game fence. So I'm gonna bring it out to where I want it to go, and then I'm just gonna use that base game fence to draw other little designs on it. So for this one, I think I'm gonna do a diagonal design, and then I'm also gonna add some fencing down the middle like this, and then you just go in and delete those little pieces in between. We can add some trim along the sides to clean it up, and I'll just add some columns on the other side to hold it up. We can raise up some greenery on top to cover it a little bit. I was also thinking the stone natural springs hot tub from The Sims 4 for rent would be perfect under here, so I'm just gonna add that in, and we could add some of the Jungle Adventure hanging plants. On our heart island, we can add some loungers. I'm adding some umbrella tables in the back. So with all of our exterior complete, this is what our house is looking like. This looks so pretty with all of the water features here. There's already so much more for Sims to do in general than there was before. Look at them hanging out with their feet in the the pool. With the surrounding areas involved as well, I feel like it's impossible for anything to look bad on this lot. And I literally never see anyone build here, but here it is. I just added a bunch of plants going along the balcony. Here it is all lit up at night. Those bloom lights really putting in the work, but now we're ready to go inside. So for our layout, top floor is just going to be bedrooms or like our hostel. The bottom floor is where we're gonna have our kitchen, dining, and living room. And I've laid our bathrooms out in a different way. So on this side, I'm just going to make little spots for showers. So if Sims just want to come in, getting out of the pool, they could just go straight in one of these showers here. We'll get the shower heads in there. I might leave that window spot and we can just put like a towel rack in there. And if we wanted even more privacy, we could just section off the shower portion and then we can just add some doors in there as well. Maybe I'll just add some robes along this wall. We'll add in some blinds and then we have some small shower rooms. But then over here with a separate entrance, this is where I was going to include an actual toilet. So I'll use a sink from Jungle Adventure. We'll put up a mirror here. We'll maybe just put a plant in this corner. So we have one bathroom over here. And since this is not a residential lot technically, and we can't change anything about that, I am going to add a public washroom over here in the corner. So hopefully that'll deter random Sims from coming in, but probably still gonna get some random visitors in there. That's okay though. She's a hostel. Over here, we're gonna start building out our kitchen. We're gonna be using Jungle Adventure appliances, which I have always loved these. I love the retro look of them and the color scheme with that orange. We'll add some counters up top here, and I kind of love that the greenery from the outside looks like it's coming in here a bit. We'll get our sink here. We can definitely still fit some decor in the back. Ooh, wait, this would be such a good opportunity to use the new backsplash from The Sims 4 Love Struck. Oh my gosh, the colors match perfectly. So I'm just adding this behind my counters. Oh, I love that. To match, I'm gonna add this base game table. I'm loving all the patterns in here, so I'm gonna use some green pattern chairs from City Living with a rug from Werewolves underneath. And in the corner for the living room, I want this to be super casual. I'm adding those chairs from Laundry Day along with these beanbag chairs from high school years. We can add a big fluffy rug over in the corner, and then I'm actually going to add a console table right here, and this is where we can add our TV. So Sims could technically watch from the dining table, they could watch it from the chairs over there. Sims also do tend to flock to the TVs, so I feel like this would be a really popular communal spot for them. For decor, I think these City Living pictures match really nicely, and I'm also going to use some of these tapestries here from For Rent. All right, so here is our kitchen, dining, and living room. I added a couple extra things to do here. I added the Love Struck board game, so if this is a hostel, Sims could get to know each other using it. We of course have our TV here, and I added some of the Love Struck guitars. I love the blue swatch. I feel like they just match the entire vibe in here. And moving on, all we have to do now is build a bedroom. So since we are building a hostel, I'm choosing to go with bunk beds. That way we can fit as many Sims in here that want to stay the night or just take a rest. So I'm using these ones here from Horse Ranch. This way we can have 4 Sims here, but it would also be cute to add sleeping bags maybe. Oh, adding them out on the Heart Island could be cute. Part of the reason why I like building on these lots too is like a lot of the times when you just come to these random lots, they're exciting for a minute, but then you quickly run out of things to do. A downside to living here though would be you're technically on vacation still, which obviously your Sims have to pay for, so you would have to keep extending your vacation. There are ways around this though. You could like bulldoze the vacation lot, like the one your Sim is supposed to be staying on, and then charge the vacation price to something cheaper. There are loopholes, but for this hostel bedroom, I'm adding in a cork board because if you have debug open, you can find all of these postcards, and I thought it would be fun to stamp a bunch of these on here, like maybe these are from all the people who have stayed here. For the same reason, I've added backpacks everywhere. We could even add flags from Sims of different worlds here. So here we have our hostel bedrooms. I think this is such a cute idea and such a fun potential for gameplay. We've got 4 of our bunk beds. I also added 4 backpacks, our flags, we got some bookshelves over to the left, and I also included this mirror from Love Struck, which has the pictures in there. I thought maybe Sims could like leave the pictures attached to the mirror. Super cute. There's our bath lot all complete. Now we're ready to move somewhere completely opposite. Oh my gosh, it's raining. I love this lot. All right, moving on. I will admit, this lot is one of the more annoying ones to get to. That's probably why people choose not to build here, but it is a very rewarding journey as the lot is beautiful. So to get there, we're we're traveling to Mt Komorebi from The Sims 4 Snowy Escape. I like to start here on this lot, and we need to purchase some climbing gear. Put that on, and then we can start the mountain climbing social event. This is located in a bit of a weird place, but I digress. From there, you'll embark on a rock climbing adventure. I cheated my rock climbing skill to level 10 to make sure we don't die on the way, because this event will take you through treacherous conditions. You basically have to do everything the event says to advance through each level. You'll be climbing walls, meeting at trail markers, and once you finally make it through each section, then you'll find yourself at the top of Mt Komorebi. Again, we're gonna need the bb.enable free build cheat to build here, and I just feel like when we build here, we have to build something majestic. So I'm gonna start my shell, and I'm aiming for like a fortress. So we'll have this big octagon room in the center here. I might bring that up 2 floors, but then surrounding it, I want to build a bunch of towers. So just using a default octagon room, I'm building up some towers around. I don't know how many I'm going to make. I also don't know what's going to go in them yet, but some of them have 2 floors, some have 3, but in the back, I'm gonna make 4-floor towers. So far, I've just laid them out in an interesting pattern like this. I'm gonna use some Riviera Retreat wallpaper around the entire thing, and I'm gonna start tracing around the top floors with some fencing. This fence I'm using is from the Castle Estate kit, but for the towers I'm using a different one, and this one is from City Living. And then once we've got our fencing on there, we can start to go in and add our trim. So I'm gonna use a variation of this thicker one with this thinner one here from Base Game. So there we are so far, and I actually changed my mind. I am still gonna go in and add some roofing, so right now I'm just taking an octagonal roof piece, I'm covering that there, and I'm going to curve it out. I'm gonna do the same thing on my towers, just obviously smaller, and then we're gonna take this one step further by adding more detail on top of that. So I'm using this random archway here. This is a wedding arch from Island Living. I'm gonna place that over top of one of my dome roof pieces, and then I'm gonna rotate it by 1 click every time around. So it's gonna make this really interesting archway over top, and then I could even bring the roof piece up to meet it. I also thought it might be kind of fun if we tied together Jungle Adventure in a way. So Jungle Adventure Debug has these stone sculptures here, and I always thought this one looked a little icy. So I'm sizing those up and raising them on top so just the flower part will be peeking above the roofing. So that's what the roofing peak looks like. I'm gonna do that to all of the other ones except for the big one. And I think I'm also gonna size one of them up in the back so that it's massive, just so there's a final something in the back there. For windows and doors, I'm mostly going to be using the Castle Estate kit. I think it'll look good combining these windows all together, but then I also just wanted to combine these plain windows from Base Game, and it's actually so cute because they have that little frosted pattern because it's so cold and snowy here. We can bring the Castle Estate windows to the front. I don't think I'm gonna add too much to do out here because I don't really want Sims to freeze to death. So all I really have to do next is finish off the roofing and add more windows. I'm also going to surround it with some big pine trees, and with everything added, this is what our fortress is looking like. I actually ended up replacing some of the roof pieces with literally a vase from Island Living. I thought it looked a little more dynamic with some differences in there, so I literally just sized it up so it was huge and put it on top. I also added these little horses outside in place of knights. I thought they kind of looked cute there, and I surrounded a lot of the towers with these columns from the Castle Estate kit. Look how pretty it looks just sitting on the top of our mountain peak. Here it is all lit up at night. Look at that sky in the background. It's so pretty up here, but let's go ahead and start on the interior. All right, so coming inside, there is literally 0 chance I will ever climb a mountain in my lifetime, but if I did, I think the first thing I would want to do afterwards is take the warmest bath. So I'm giving them a pretty big bathroom here. I kind of want to use a lot of the Snowy Escape stuff in here. I really love this pack for their furniture choices and stuff. So I've got my nice little bath there. I'm gonna add a shower to the side. I really want to add this in here from Spa Day, just making this the most relaxing bathroom. And then we could add a toilet over on this wall, and I'm gonna use a growing together sink in the corner. We can use a mirror from Snowy Escape, and we'll use some mountain decor pictures in here as well. This is again technically not a residential lot, so it could be a lot where your Sims just stay for a little while and then go home, or if your Sim sim is able to work from home, you could literally just stay here as long as you want. It's not like a vacation lot, so you wouldn't have to be paying the vacation prices, but you could again just bulldoze your house at home and then pay really low bills and live here and never leave. But here is our bathroom. This looks so cozy. I'm gonna keep everything as stone in here, but I do want it to look as warm and relaxing as possible. I want to add the kotatsu table over in this corner, so I'm gonna turn it on a diagonal. I put a fluffy rug from Love Struck underneath it. Oh, and we could add some candles on here with a small table in the back. And I'm even gonna try and hide some pillows back here just for the added comfort feel. We should probably add some of these shelves so you could come in and hang up your gear. Like there's this mountain shelf that literally has rock climbing gear on it. I just added a window in the back there just because I feel like we needed more on the bottom floor, and that lighting coming in looks very pretty. So we've got our dining area done, and then over to this side, this is where we can add our kitchen. I'm actually putting my fridge over in this corner so I can wrap my counters along the diagonal walls. That way we can stick an oven right in the center here, and we'll get a sink on this side. I'm gonna add one of these display shelves. We could add a nice coffee maker here too. And what would it look like if we tried to combine some of these shelves here? And then we can add little clutter pieces in here. And these snowyscape counters are great because you can add a bunch of clutter on the shelves underneath. I'm picturing this one to be more of like a super adventurous couple's home. Like maybe they travel up that mountain once or twice a year. So that's why we've got so much clutter happening in here. Like maybe they stay here for like a month at a time and then they go home. And during the time that they're not there, it could just be an open place for other adventurous sims. Our dining table, I ended up moving into the center just so I had more room for a seating area over to the side. I just used these cozy blanket chairs from Snowy Escape. We also have some ottomans there too. So now we're ready to go upstairs. And I guess we could turn this into a hostel situation again. Maybe if you decided to do a bigger group, you could convert it into that. But I'm just gonna include one bed for this. I'm using a Snowy Escape bed with this rug underneath from high school years. You would clearly have to be into fitness to even attempt this trip, so I'm gonna add a yoga mat here. This one has the mountains on it. We could also maybe add a table in the corner with a record player on it. I'm adding another comfy seating area over here. For the jungle adventure callback, we could use this tapestry. I'm adding a small dresser right here with just a small TV on there. I'm adding even more random pillows on the floor, some cozy blanket clutter, and then just in case our sims did want to work, I've just given them a desk with a computer. I've been changing around the wood swatches of the furniture in here just until I find something that sticks. I'm bringing in a little bit of extra color in here, just using some soft blues. So I made a last minute change to the bed here. I replaced it with this horse ranch one with the little trees on it, and I feel like it just looks so cozy, combined with that growing together living room set to the left. And then we've got our desk over here. You could play games, you could do work. There's our TV there and our yoga mat. I also didn't want to cover any of the lighting from the windows, so I did not add any curtains. And you can actually still fit a decent amount in the little tower rooms, so I think I'm gonna lean into the fitness idea. We could get like a little speaker in here, sims could come work out if they wanted to. We could turn one of them into like the tiniest little pool, but since it's on the inside, your sims can actually go in there and not freeze to death. It's so tiny though, but I mean your fitness skill will go up. You can kind of just come in here and tread water. For one of them, I'm adding a gardening room, basically just because since these are on the inside, you could grow things in here at any season. I'm also making a creativity room and two other more private gym spaces. So that has been us building in 2 more hidden lots in The Sims 4. Again, there are still so many other hidden and uncommon lots that I could show you guys, so if you want to see more, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.